Well, welcome to Front Porch Friday. It is such a joy to be with you here today, and with my friend Mindy Ferguson as we sit on the porch and we continue our series, Why Did I Say That? 5 things you should never say or never tell God, okay? And we've looked at 2 of those. We're in session 3 today, and Mindy has written a Bible study on the life of Peter, and so she's been studying him a lot, and this is a wonderful, wonderful series of some of the things that Peter said that I'm sure he wished he had never said, but they're the things that you and I say too, don't we?
Oh, we do.
So much.
We do.
And so in session 3 in this session, what else did Peter say that he should never have said and that you and I say and we should never say as well?
Okay. The next words that Peter said were, "It is good for us to be here." And the focus will be what to do when our desire to control runs amok.
Oh, do we have a desire to control, Mindy? Do women have it? Do you
We
think?
do, yes,
Oh,
we do.
Huge desire.
The passage that I'm thinking of, Peter was privileged enough to go up on the Mount of Transfiguration with Jesus, and he's there with Peter and John, and Jesus transfigures before him, and rather than being just filled with awe in the moment, Peter begins to just ramble like a magpie, and he says, "Rabbi," talking to Jesus, "it is good for us to be here." And then he begins to tell him, let's set up shelters, and he wants to preserve the moment, but as he's trying to preserve the moment, he's missing.
He's missing the moment, isn't he?
He's missing the moment. And what I was thinking is we women tend to do the same thing. We get focused on something that is so wonderful. Maybe it's having our family with us, or maybe it's a moment in ministry where we just really see God working, and we're with a team of women that we are just thriving with, and we are just enjoying the moment so much, but we're focused on preserving it instead of really savoring it.
Yeah, savoring it and holding it in our hands with open fingers instead of clenching it.
Yes.
Like we so want to do sometimes with those opportunities and with our kids, don't we?
Oh, yes.
We want to
Especially
preserve
with our
that
kids.
as long as possible, and sometimes we tend to not hold things before the Lord with an open hand. He has to pry our fingers loose, doesn't he?
Yeah. I can think of a time when I was serving the Lord in ministry and just so loved that experience and saw God working, and just couldn't think of God could ever do anything that I would enjoy more.
It is good to be here. That's what
were my
you're
words.
thinking. It's good to be here. I could stay here forever,
Yes.
God.
And then I resisted when God began to impress upon me it was time to move on. And that's, I think, what we tend to do. We say, God, it is good for us to be here. And sometimes we're in a position in ministry and it's time to step down, and we're still saying, God, it's good for us to be here.
Yes, I'm not ready yet, Lord.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. When you were in that position of ministry that you did not really want to leave, did you have the next place to go?
No, I did not,
Okay.
which I think is part of what made it so difficult. I didn't know what God was going to do with me next. I didn't know if he'd do anything. I thought I might sit on the shelf. And I really struggled to just obey and trust him. And I think that's what we tend to do. And like you said, we also do that with our kids.
Yeah.
We say it's good for us to be here. Maybe all of our
All
family
live
is
in the same little zip code or the
Yes.
same little state or whatever.
And then we tend to say it is good for us to be here. And then when that opportunity comes and we sense God moving us, or maybe moving one of our kids, and we say, no, Lord, it's good for us to be here.
Yeah. I have some sweet a young couple, a friend of ours that have small children, are on the mission field in a foreign country, and their parents have been super supportive of them in being over there, even though it means that the grandparents get to see those grandkids very seldom. They Skype and they do all those kinds of things, but it's not quite the same. But that couple has told us how grateful they are that even though they have moved on to a mission field thousands of miles away, that their parents have supported them and let them go and let those grandkids go. And it's not easy.
No.
But they've done it, and they said so many of the other missionary couples they know have told them, we wish our families were that supportive. Instead, they are sometimes feeling very guilty on those Skypes and things like that. And, we can do that when our kids go off to mission fields, but even to another career and just maybe move to go marry somebody. There's just so many opportunities. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Let that wife come here and stay here. Why do you have to go there? And we can all be like Peter, can't we?
We can, and we can even become a little bit of a stumbling block to God's work when we try to preserve the moment. And I think there's a passage in James. It's James chapter 4. It just really speaks to this, because whether we want to admit it, when we have a control issue, it's really a pride issue.
It is a pride
because
issue.
it's us
You're
saying
right.
that
My
we
way.
know what's best. And in James 4:13 through 15, it says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. If it is the Lord's will, I will continue in this position in ministry.
Yes.
If it is the Lord's will, my family will remain right here close to me.
Yes.
If it is the Lord's will, we will live here or do that.
Yeah. There goes the stinking donkey.
Is that what